Chapter 8. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The suit made me look like a complete idiot. It was a tight, dark green rubber suit covered with wires, circuits, and red LEDs, which had always been off before, but now that Smelly had activated the suit, they flashed in rippling patterns like a motel sign advertising vacancies. I glanced at myself in the mirror in Jacanto's bedroom, where he'd allowed me to remove my outer clothes. "What exactly are the LEDs for?" I asked Smelly. "I find them aesthetically pleasing." "They're going to get me killed. I look like a runaway." "Relax. If something happens to your groveling mass of organic goo, then something happens to me. I cannot permit my brilliance to be snuffed out of the universe, not when I have so much left to contribute. When the suit enters stealth mode, no one will see you." I braced myself for the worst and stepped out into the living room. Alice was standing there, and she immediately put her hand to her mouth to stifle a giggle. "You look amazingly dumb," she said after a moment. "Ah!" was the only thing Jacanto said. He made this noise because he was standing behind me, swinging a baseball bat at my legs. He got a lot of power into a one-handed swing, actually, and when the bat struck, a soft white energy seemed to emanate from the suit. The bat bounced off me, and I only felt the slightest pressure, but the recoil was so strong the bat flew out of Jacanto's hand and into the wall, where it left a dent. "You might want to warn me," I shouted. "You think they're gonna warn you when they start shooting at you?" he said. "Yeah, I do. I think they'll say something like, 'Don't move, or we'll shoot.'" "Okay," he admitted. "They probably would. But after that, they'll just shoot, so what good would the warning do?" "The point is, I didn't tell you I was ready. You could have hurt me." "I went for your legs. Any injury would have been non-lethal." I pointed at him. "That's real comforting. Just don't do anything to me unless I tell you I'm ready." "Fine," he said, looking hurt. "It's just that I only have one arm, and I wanted to contribute." Suddenly, I felt horrible. "Jacanto, I'm sorry. If you thought I meant..." He just laughed at me. "I'm messing with you." Then he rammed his fist into my stomach. The white light flashed, and his arm jerked back. He flopped it around afterwards for a second. "Man, that tingles right up to the elbow." "I'd really rather you stopped hitting me," I told him. "Why? It doesn't hurt you." Alice smacked me in the back of the head. Her attack was pretty light. I don't think it would have hurt even without the suit's protection. Her hand bounced off, and she shook out her fingers. "That's crazy," she said. "My fingers feel a little numb." "Shall we demonstrate your mighty powers to these evolutionary mistakes?" Smelly asked. "I don't think we need to..." "I'll take that as a yes," it said. A burst of energy radiated out from me. It lifted both Alice and Jacanto a few inches off the floor. Jacanto flew into the wall near the dent made by the baseball bat, and Alice landed on the worn leather couch. Her hair was sticking up and had gone wild and frizzy. "I said not to do that!" I shouted at Smelly. "And I hope not to attack anyone. Isn't that the point of stealth mode?" "It had to be tested, and they were attacking us. Violence against your oozing form is violence against me, and that cannot be tolerated." "It's okay," Jacanto said as he picked himself up. "Always good to understand your options." "I wonder if it also wants to understand what the 50,000 volts of electricity you can unleash would feel like." "Let's skip that part," I told Smelly. What about stealth mode?" Jacanto said. "How does that work?" "Activating now," Smelly said. Jacanto's eyes went wide. "Well, I'd say it's working." Alice started walking towards me, her hands pushed out, looking like she was trying to find a wall in a pitch-black room. "Let me know if I'm getting warmer." I moved aside and accidentally knocked into an end table. A framed picture fell forward, smacking against the wood, but Alice seemed completely unaware of it. Smelly must have seen me notice this. "The stealth mode produces a stabilization nimbus which conceals secondary consequences of your lumbering form. In this mode, you could walk on the sands of a beach, or go through fresh snow, and you would still leave no trace of your passing." "Can they hear me if I speak to them?" "Only if you so requested." Suddenly, the idea of breaking into Area 51 and stealing a flying saucer didn't seem quite so daunting. What about them? Can I conceal them in my nimbus, or whatever it is?
If they are within 2 feet, they will also be stealthed,
Smelly said. Turn the stealth off, I said.
Yes, master,
Smelly answered testily.
And not that I don't like being your cabana boy, but you can activate the suit via your own will. You don't need to order me as though... And I am laughing at this. You were my superior.
Alice and Gicanto suddenly looked at me in surprise, so I figured I'd popped back into reality for them.
We're really going to do this,
Alice whispered. You don't have to, I told her. Neither of you does. I mean, even with the suit, the best case scenario is I make it to the ship, and it's working, and I fly away from Earth. I'm seriously disliked by one galactic superpower and absolutely hated by the other. Do you guys really want to become fugitives pretty much everywhere in the known universe?
I want to see the known universe,
Alice said. Well, I understand that, and it's pretty amazing, but it's not so amazing to be hated by billions of sentient beings. It's not so amazing to have a bigger, meaner, more powerful spaceship try to blow you up. I've experienced these things, and I don't recommend them.
But you're still planning on going,
Gicanto observed. I've got beings counting on me, I said. Someone I care about needs my help, and my father is stuck in an alien prison because of me. I have to go. You don't. Alice, you've been a really great friend, and I don't like the idea of putting you in danger.
I want to help you, Zeke,
she said.
And now that I know what's out there, I kind of have to see it if I have the chance.
I understood all of those things, and I needed Alice and Gicanto in order to find the ship. If they wanted to go, and they understood the risks, I couldn't refuse their help. I couldn't, even if I hated putting them in danger. I had no idea where I was going, or what I needed to do once I got there.
It may interest you to know, Smelly interrupted, that there are 5 vehicles approaching this location. The address of this domicile is programmed into their handheld computers, and each vehicle contains several armed meat bags.
How do you know that? I asked.
My ability to manipulate subatomic particles allows me to tap into your primitive communication systems.
So, Smelly has Wi-Fi. Good to know. How far away?
Less than 2 of your curiously arbitrary units called miles.
I felt panic rising inside me, but I didn't have time for it. Gicanto, they're coming for me.
Who?
I don't know. Government types, I guess. Knowingly or unknowingly working for fads, maybe. Smelly, do they have helicopters? Anything in the air?
Only automobiles.
They're less than 2 miles out, coming in cars. If we're going, we need to go now. An understanding of the situation seemed to wash over Gicanto's face, and an expression of determined calm set in. I saw the look of an experienced soldier, a guy who had faced battle and made it through. I was suddenly glad that this guy was helping me. I ran into the bedroom and threw my jeans and shirt on over my suit. By the time I came out, maybe 30 seconds later, Gicanto was waving me towards the kitchen.
Let's go,
he said. He led us to the garage, where a massive white pickup truck was parked, facing out. While Alice got in the front seat, I climbed into the back. Gicanto attached something to the rear of the truck, then hopped in and hit the button to open the garage door. Smelly, can you monitor the approaching cars?
Of course I can. Your inquiry insults me.
You're the best, Smelly. Everything about you is super awesome. Which way should we go?
Instruct the vehicle operating meatbag to head north from its driveway, and please refrain from offering praise. It's more demeaning than your insults.
Go north, I said, whichever direction that is. We pulled out of the driveway, and I heard something rattling behind us. I turned and saw that we were pulling a rusting flatbed trailer full of lawn mowing equipment. Maybe you should lose all that, I said. It's going to slow us down.
It's for show,
Gicanto explained.
I've picked up a bunch of broken equipment over the years, so getting rid of it when the time is right is no problem.
Then why are you dragging it around? Gicanto grinned.
I'm just a guy with a landscaping business. Cops are looking for a kid, right? Maybe a couple of kids. You guys duck down, all they'll see is me. I'm just trying to earn a buck, boss. The vehicles are diversifying their approach vectors, Smelly told me. There is no way to avoid all of them before slipping their perimeter.
Which way puts us past the smallest number? I asked. Smelly told me a route, and I repeated it to Jacanto. We made it another quarter mile or so before we saw dark sedans cruising toward us like a shark.
Time to disappear,
Jacanto said. Alice and I ducked while Jacanto slowly passed by the dark sedan. He didn't look at it, wave, or perform innocent bystander. He just did his best impersonation of a tired guy on his way from or to one job or another. After a minute, Jacanto said it was all clear and we sat back up.
Next stop, Nevada,
he said.
Let's hope we don't have any more surprises.
I looked at the sky for signs of helicopters or flying saucers, but I didn't see anything. It looked like we were safe, at least for now.